Superlatives. For more information, read chart 910 in your textbook on page 246. Superlatives are used when you are comparing three or more things or groups of things. You write most plus the adjective or the adverb, or the adjective or the adverb plus est. Refer back to chart 9.3 if you don't remember when to use most and when to use est. Let's look at some examples. Jeff is the smartest student in the class. So we're comparing Jeff to all of the students in the class. So that's obviously more than 3 people. So we need to use a superlative. Notice the form of the superlative. Smart is a short adjective, so we add est rather than using most. With the superlative, we always use the article the. The smartest student. You must have the. You remember with more and er, you must have than. With superlatives, you must have the. Now, a lot of times when we write superlatives, we have a prepositional phrase that comes after the superlative, like in the class. Jeff is the smartest student in the class. She is the most beautiful woman in the world. They are the most wonderful people in this office. So we use in and a place to describe of all the people in this place, this person is the most whatever. The smartest, the brightest, the happiest, the prettiest, the best, whatever. Another form looks like this. Troy is the most amazing person I have ever met. Again, long adjective here, amazing, so we want to use most. The most amazing person. Don't forget your article, the. Now this time we use an adjective clause. Do you remember adjective clauses? We talked about them last session. An adjective clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb that describe a noun. So I have ever met is an adjective clause, and it describes person. So Troy is the most amazing person I have ever met. And we often use ever in these sentences. So we could say, she is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. He is the most incredible football player I have ever watched. We often use something like I have ever. That's another common expression that we use with superlatives. And finally, we have a sentence like this. There are many talented dancers, but Annie is the most talented. We could also say Annie is the most talented of all. We don't have to. Of all is something that we add, but it's not necessary. Now you'll notice here that we have the adjective, talented, and it's a long adjective, so we use the most in front of it, but we don't have a noun after it. So we don't say Annie is the most talented dancer. You don't have to. If we've already established a context, we know who we're talking about. We're talking about the dancers. Then we don't have to say Annie is the most talented dancer. We can just say Annie is the most talented. If we, for instance, in the sentence about Jeff, if we had said Ashley has many students, Jeff is one of her students, Jeff is the smartest student, we could have just said Jeff is the smartest student without adding in the class. That information may not be necessary. So sometimes we just say Jeff is the smartest, and we don't need any of the other information. If we already know that Jeff is a student, then we can just say Jeff is the smartest, and we know that he's the smartest student. We already know that Annie is a dancer, so we can just say Annie is the most talented. We don't have to say Annie is the most talented dancer. The noun isn't necessary sometimes. For practice, turn in your book to page 246 and do exercise 32.